government's failure in all of this? It's time for me to invite my guest to join the conversation. I've got Toba Ifalade, who's a public affairs analyst, joining me on the line this morning. Good morning to you, Toba. It's nice to have you again.
Good morning, Charity. Good morning to our esteemed listener too.
All right, I'm excited to be talking to you this morning, Toba. We woke up yesterday, well, our day had already started before the news started to filter in of yet again another heartbreaking abduction. Unfortunately, this time there was even a loss of life because one student was shot dead right there at the school. And as you can imagine, a lot of conversations have already been had as regards why this continues to happen. I outlined for my listeners earlier, before I got you on the line, how 3 of the major abductions, as we've seen, at least in the last 5 years, have happened under the administration and the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. Particularly, what does this incident and others like it, as we've seen in the past, tell you about this government's ability to provide security to Nigerians, and particularly security to schools, boarding schools in the northern parts of the country?
For me, I think this is a bit terrible. That is easy to look at what has been going on in the country. We've talked about the fact that we've had so many of these abductions. And it seems our government is incapable of stemming it. You talked about the fact that we had, abductions in Chibok, in Damasak, in Dakchi, in Kankara, and now we have it in Kagara also. Now, it boils down, like the only thing I can pin this thing on is the fact that the Nigerian government is incapable of securing the country. And when we talk about the government, like the key reason why human society decided to organize government was for security. That is, everybody hands over their power of self-defense over to the government, that, okay, yes, please, we don't want, arbitrary responses, maybe to acts of violence against members of the community.
Yes.
So we are constituting a body that is going to be responsible for securing us and for ensuring that members of the community get justice whenever there are acts of aggression against them. Now, if the Nigerian government is, consistently failing, that is in delivering security to the people, it boils down to a failure of governance. That is what I can place this on. Now, why is it so? People have advanced so many reasons why we are not able, why our government is not able to secure the country effectively. People have talked about the fact that we don't even have enough funds. So we may effectively secure the country. They talked about the fact that the ratio of policemen to citizens that is the standard for the globe is not achievable or has not been achieved in Nigeria presently. The Nigerian armed forces is also stretched, thin, attending to different conflicts all over the country. So maybe, concentrating them and getting them to act in certain areas where crisis of this proportion is also a little bit difficult also. So maybe these are some of the reasons advanced by people for the failure of government to adequately secure schools. But at this point in time, we need to start asking the questions. We need to start taking the government to task. That what is going to be done to actually achieve the level of security desired by Nigerian citizens?
Yeah, I mean, are you concerned? Because Kagara, as I understand, is not really remote as with other places, maybe the Kankara incident, for instance, or maybe even the Chibok school, how far in it was. Kagara is
not very...
Say again?
Kagara is not very far from Abuja.
That's the thing. It seems like this is closer to the city center. And, I mean, you can excuse when things like this happen in the really remote areas, and then you say it's hard for security to get to these areas. But Kagara is more like not a metropolis, but it's like
it's a town.
It's an open it's an open town. And should we be worried that if something like this can happen in a location like Kagara, it means it may be coming closer and closer to the urban areas, if you like?
Yeah, that is what the terrorists or the bandits who are doing this. That is what they are actually trying to drive on. That you're not safe. That they can strike at any point, at any time of their willing. That is what they are trying to invest in the minds of Nigerians. Now, for me, when terrorists or criminals try to do this, it is understandable. They want to project an image of invincibility or an image that they are mercurial. They are mercurial. That is that the government is not able to handle them.
Yeah.
Now we need a response from government that wherever you think you are going to, or whatever stunts you're trying to pull, we are equal to the task. Now our government has to come and show that they are equal to the task. Because basically these bandits or these criminals or these terrorists are beginning to get bolder. They are beginning to strike, more intermittently. They are beginning to also show us that they are able to leverage their power away from the regions where we knew those things to be happening before.
Yes.
Because basically we thought, school abductions and the rest of them were limited to the northeast, where Boko Haram operates. But here we're talking about Kagara. That is in the north central of Nigeria. This happened in Niger State. So that means these terrorists are beginning to project their power into regions where they were not previously operating.
And another angle that I'm looking at is how lucrative it's been and what the implication of that could be. Oftentimes, after abductions like this, we get into the controversy of whether money exchanged hands or not. And in almost every instance, the government denies ever paying ransom to the abductors. But as you said, we've seen how intermittent, frequent this has become. And it points to the fact that it is lucrative. I mean, these bandits or terrorists or whatever they are would not risk their life, go to a school, abduct children, and stand the chance of being killed if the payout is not really attractive. Yes. And that's brought me to thinking, is it possible that these guys are trying to, are they trying, you think, to increase their social status, get financial fortunes for themselves? Or could there be a deeper problem here, or a deeper implication whereby they're using these monies, because we know that these monies come in hundreds of millions. Could it be possible that we have a situation where these bandits or terrorists or whatever they are use these monies to be funding their organizations and getting ammunition, which they continue to use to terrorize people? Is that an area you think the government should be concerned about and look into?
Yeah, the government should definitely be concerned about this, because very recently we had, that is an Islamic cleric, Sheikh Guru, who decided to go into the forest to go and talk to these bandits. And by the time he came out, he was giving us reports, or he was telling us some of the things and learned, that is from his interaction with the bandits. And he said something very, very poignant, something that should scare every Nigerian, and that should actually get the Nigerian government scampering to try to meet whatever these bandits are planning in the board. He talked about the fact that they were trying to acquire, that is, anti-aircraft weaponry. That is because, maybe basically when Nigeria attacks the bandit camps, they go with maybe helicopters, with fighter jets and the rest of them. So now he's talking about the fact that these people want to buy anti-aircraft missiles for them to counter these attacks when it comes. So that will tell you that there's something, sinister, green And you are rightly, nailed, because he also talked about the fact that some of the money they make off ransoms, because at this point in time, I don't think there should be any use for us to be denying that ransom is not paid. It's going to be a little bit counterproductive, because if we are not being very open about what is going on, then this thing is going to fester. So if we are getting money from ransom and we are deploying it in buying state-of-the-art ammunition, that is very, very deadly ammunition, then it becomes even more difficult to control. But at the level at which we are now, the government usually denies paying ransom, but without report after. I tell you from very credible sources that indicate that our government actually pays ransom to get these children away, that is from these criminals. And I think that is what is leading to the frequency at which these abductions are beginning to take place now, because some of these criminals need money. They need finance. And if it is going to be coming easy by, just strolling into a school, picking up, school children, undefended school children, taking them, heading them into the forest, and then, making demands, and at the end of the day, money pours in. Then I think it's something that will appeal to anybody. And that is maybe the route which the bandits, which the terrorists are beginning to take now in, making money for themselves, to use in buying ammunition, and to keep their organizations well-oiled financially.
Yes. I mean, it's all well and good for us to sit here and say it's not advisable for government to pay ransom. But what is the alternative, really? When students like this are kidnapped, families are afraid. Families are praying for their safe return. Families would do anything within their power just to have their children brought back to them alive and safe. So if we say the government shouldn't pay ransom, government shouldn't be unintentionally funding these terrorist groups, whether bandits or otherwise, how then can we secure the release of students in a situation like this?
Okay. Now let me attack it from this point. You have asked that, post-capture, what happens? How do we get the children out?
Yes.
Let's start from, maybe that is a pre-capture. That is what we should do to prevent, situations where we are now in the dilemma of having to negotiate, or maybe we shouldn't negotiate.
Yes.
We have the Safe School Initiative. That is immediately after Chibok happened. The Safe School Initiative was meant to prevent, future occurrences like maybe what happened in Chibok. But, so far we have not done so well with that, because after that, instances where we've had kidnappings in Damasak, in Dapchi, in Kankara, in Kagara. Now, initially, when the Safe School Initiative was launched, it was under, the leadership of Gordon Brown. That is the United Nations Special Envoy for Global Education.
Yes.
Now they brought together Nigerian businesses, the government itself, donors, and the humanitarian agencies. And they were able to raise $30 million in funding. The money was meant to reach schools in areas that are very, very vulnerable to attack.
Yes.
The main objectives, that is, security-wise, was to bolster the physical protection of those schools. That is, I think, with building fences and, other barriers that would prevent, people just being able to stroll into the school and take away children without any incident. They were also supposed to help in providing school guards and the police, policemen in partnership with Nigerian authorities to guard those schools. Then it was also supposed to help in training staff, that is the staff of the school, as school safety officers. Then it was supposed to help in providing communication tools, and then maybe school counselors, that is for children, to help guide the children that, in the event our school is invaded, how do you respond and how do you react? What has happened to this initiative? It has become literally dead. I have not been hearing about it. I've not, maybe seen a school in my vicinity, maybe visited by officers of this particular program, come and talk to the students about, situations like this, about maybe what is going on in the country, and the need for them to be extra careful. So I have not seen much in this regard. Now, post-capture, if, maybe the insurgents or the terrorists or the bandits, they come in and then they take away students, they become bargaining chips. Like we have said, now the society is in the dilemma. Do we negotiate? And if we're negotiating, the terrorists or the criminals are not going to simply hand over the children to us.
Yes.
They are going to make demands, monetary demands, and even demands for their own safety. So at this point, it becomes, that is a moral issue. Should we say, okay, let the military storm wherever the kids are being kept and go try to execute a commando-style rescue, which may result in the loss of lives of some of these children? Or should we simply pay ransom and get the children back? For me, if I were to be a parent of a child that has been abducted or that has been kidnapped, I wouldn't want my child to be a collateral damage. So maybe from a moral standpoint, I would say the government should pay ransom. But we should now be asking that, how is our government unable to follow the money trail? Follow the money trail if you have paid ransom. Follow the money trail and help us not be bandits eventually.
All right.
Because if we know that, okay, we've been able to take the children away from them, then they should become vulnerable. Maybe the children that they were using as shields.
Yes.
Initially, we've been able to get them out of their hands. Then the military operation should be the one that should be following.
Okay.
The bandits.
Tom, I want to get you to comment on something else because I'm being told that I really have to wrap up. So I'm going to please ask that you do this briefly. I want to get your comments on the Minister of Defense's comments. The Nigerians should not be cowardly and should fight these people. And then on the other hand, senators in Zamfara asking for amnesty for repentant bandits. Please, as brief as possible, Toba.
It is very unfortunate. The statement of the Minister of Defense is a very, very unfortunate one. I don't expect any serious government official to come out and say that. Like I said earlier when I was talking, that the basic responsibility of government is security.
Yeah.
So when you start telling citizens to man up and fight bandits who are coming with AK-47 assault rifles or other deadly weapons, then I think that's a very unfortunate thing to say. I would be expecting the Minister of Defense to tender a very serious apology to the Nigerian people for this. I would be expecting that. Then for the senators who are demanding amnesty, that is for bandits, I also find that very unfortunate. That is, we granted amnesty to Niger Delta militants. Now we're going to grant amnesty to bandits. We are granting amnesty to Boko Haram terrorists. So once the militants, anybody can just, decide to come up from that a group to torment society. Then eventually go and meet them and beg them that please don't wake up work again. And we're going to give you amnesty. We're going to even give you education. We'll pay you salaries so that you don't cause trouble.
All right, Toba. Unfortunate. I'm sure a lot of people would agree with you. Thank you very much for sparing the time to talk to us. And I'm so sorry I had to rush you through the conversation.
No, it's been a pleasure.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. People, that's it. I had hoped that I would take some comments or some thoughts from you, but that's not going to happen. Apologies. But this is a developing story. We're still waiting to see what the outcome of the meeting between the governors and the president will be today. But most importantly, a lot of Nigerians are hoping that these people, 42 or more of them who have been kidnapped, can be reunited with their families safe and sound. Thank you for being a part of the show this morning. Ronnie will be here tomorrow on the Morning Splash. My name is Charity Jerome. Go ahead and enjoy your Thursday morning.